My name is Ann Whitlow, 32 years old. The doorbell rings at exactly 8:09 on a Tuesday, the kind of hour that usually belongs to leftovers and laundry and the sigh of a house settling into night. Patrick is upstairs with the game murmuring in blue light, and I am folding his shirts into careful thirds when I catch a shape through the peephole. Middle-aged, nervous, a man who looks like he rehearsed bravery and lost it on my porch. I open the door a cautious inch, then wider. "Mrs. Davenport?" he asks, voice pitched low as if the hallway itself could eavesdrop. I'm Noah Whitfield. The name is nothing to me, but the fear in his eyes is not. He shifts his car keys from one palm to the other and clears his throat. "I drove your husband and his friend from your barbecue last Saturday to the Highland Hotel." A laugh comes to my lips because that is what a good wife does when life tells the wrong joke. "I recognized you from our driver profile," I say, almost apologetically. "Is everything okay? Did they leave something in your car?" "No, ma'am." He glances past my shoulder toward the staircase. The game upstairs swells and falls, a tide. It's about what happened after they left. "What do you mean?" The words are smooth, a practiced host's curiosity, but my fingertips go cold on the doorknob. I couldn't sleep since that night. He swallows. The porch light carves new worry lines in his face. What I saw, what I heard, if it were me, I'd want someone to tell me. Somewhere in the house, the dryer clicks off. The sudden quiet rings like a bell. Tell me what? "Your husband and Benjamin, in my back seat." His jaw tightens. "They were holding hands, talking about you like you were an obstacle, and then they kissed." His voice thins. "Not like friends, Mrs. Davenport. Like lovers." The moment arrives like a wave I didn't see, breaking over my chest in clean, freezing water. I step back. It looks like offense, but it's survival. "That's ridiculous. You're mistaken." I wish I was. He fumbles a phone from his pocket, thumbs hovering as if the device might explode. "My dash cam." The door closes because my hand makes it close. I don't mean to slam it, but wood meets frame with a thud that stings my palm. Upstairs, Patrick calls. Cheerful, almost boyish. "Who is that, honey?" "Wrong house," I answer. The lie slides out of me on a voice I barely recognize. In the foyer mirror, a woman I know too well keeps her face arranged like a living room before guests arrive. Fresh flowers, no dust. I walk back to the couch, to the neat towers of cotton, to the steady choreography of a life that has preferred order over truth for so long that the distinction feels theoretical. The shirts don't tremble in my hands, but something in me hums, a live wire I suddenly remember not to touch. Benjamin has been in our orbit since high school, since stories of intercepted passes and undrinkable cafeteria coffee. He was our wedding's best man, the reliable third at birthdays and holidays, the person who arrived 5 minutes early and left 20 minutes late with a joke about traffic. He brings me flowers on Mother's Day even though we never had a child. He calls me sis when he clinks his glass to mine. None of those facts are defenses. Tonight, they sound like alibis. I sleep badly, which is to say I don't. When the sun lifts a gray coin over the neighborhood, Patrick hums in the bathroom and the mirror fogs around his jawline. He shaves, kisses my cheek, pockets his phone when it buzzes. "Johnson wants to review the Peterson contract," he says, casual as weather. "I'll be late." "Benjamin?" I ask, as if it just occurred to me. "Was that him?" "Work stuff." He smiles, the smile that has always known how to take my questions in both hands and set them gently down elsewhere. He leaves with the good briefcase. The scent of his aftershave lingers like a guest who doesn't understand when to go home. Coffee tastes like metal. I take my mug to the table and open the laptop. The Uber account is a shared convenience that now feels like a diary with someone else's handwriting. Trip history, Saturday night, pickup, our address. Drop off, Highland Hotel. Not his office, not our home. Not the tavern Benjamin pretends is a second living room. A nice hotel downtown with bottled water that costs more than breakfast and a lobby arranged for privacy. My phone rings. "Hey, Anne," says Benjamin, warm as a soft blanket. "Patrick around?" "He's at work," I say, and I'm not sure whether the words are a test or a confession. Right. We're supposed to grab lunch, but he's not answering." The smile is in his voice. I can hear it lean back in a chair and put its feet on my coffee table. If he calls, tell him I said not to bail. He owes me a burger. Of course. I imagine two men sharing a table and a joke, and a life in a place where I am an anecdote with my edges filed down. I'll pass it along. You're the best, sis. He hangs up before I can decide whether my mouth will betray me. The day folds itself into odd angles. I drive past Patrick's office. His car isn't there, which proves nothing and everything. I call the main line. Davenport Insurance, chirps a woman who could be any age. This is Anne. Is Patrick available? A pause, brisk and polite. He took a personal day, Mrs. Davenport. Is there a message? I look at my hands on the steering wheel. They are steady. No, I say, and hang up before the rest of me can start shaking. At 5:30, the front door opens and my husband steps in carrying takeout from my favorite place, the one we save for happy news and repairs after bad days. He kisses my forehead. He smells like the cologne I bought him for our anniversary, like the memory of a man who used to tell me everything. Thought you might be tired. Figured we'd celebrate surviving Tuesday. How was the Peterson contract? I asked lightly. He doesn't even pause. Ted nitpicked every clause. I'll be late again tomorrow. He sets out the food. He chooses the playlist I like for evenings and twines his fingers with mine at the table the way a man does when he is sure there are no cameras anywhere. I smile back, and a new sensation takes its seat where my tenderness used to live. Not rage, not grief, but attention, a bright and disciplined focus clicking into place like a lens cap coming off. After dinner, he laughs at something on TV. I laugh too, a fraction late. You okay? He asks. Tired, I say, and it's true in 1,000 unhelpful ways. When he sleeps, the house sleeps with him. I walk the downstairs without turning on lights, learning the dark all over again. Our wedding photo is still on the mantel, the one where Benjamin's hand rests on Patrick's back with the perfect warmth of a lifelong friend. I study the angle of fingers, the casualness of possession, and realize how many things have lived in plain sight because I love the people standing in front of them. The next morning, Patrick kisses me goodbye and leaves early for the office he didn't go to yesterday. I watch his taillights dissolve at the corner, then carry my coffee to the kitchen table like a defendant returning to the stand. There is a version of my life where I confront him now, simple, direct, the crisp slap of truth against the cheek of lies. I rehearse it out loud. I know about you and Benjamin. The words sound like someone else's. They don't belong to the woman who wants certainty more than catharsis. So I choose certainty. I install an app whose website looks like it was designed by people who believe secrecy is a love language. Patrick has patterns: shower after a run, phone on the dresser, water loud enough to cover my breathing. The installation takes less than a minute. The guilt takes longer to locate, and when I find it, it is smaller than expected, a pebble compared to the cliff that fell on me last night. He hums in the bathroom the same tune he always hummed before long drives, before job interviews, before dinner at my mother's. I look at the closed door and think of Noah on my porch, the way he cradled the truth like a fragile animal. Somewhere between the sound of running water and the soft click of the bedroom drawer, I open to find nothing new. I make a private promise. I will not be cruel. I will be thorough. When Patrick leaves, I return to the laptop. The ride history is still where I left it, a breadcrumb trail I can count. If I follow long enough, it will deliver me to the truth, or at least to the room where the truth sleeps. I search the Highland Hotel's website until I can see its lobby in my head. Velvet chairs, dim lamps, a bar that makes silence expensive. I imagine Patrick and Benjamin stepping through the revolving door, two men already practiced at entering and exiting worlds. Around noon, Benjamin texts to ask whether I can share the recipe for the roast I made last Sunday. You take such good care of us, he writes. Us, as if we were a team I had joined without a tryout. I type out the instructions and delete them. I send a smiley face instead. He answers with a heart. That evening, Patrick brings home flowers. Just because, he says, and I hear the apology he didn't rehearse well enough to say out loud. I arrange them in a vase and set them in the middle of the table, a bright, fragrant witness. On Thursday at 6:42 p.m., the app pings for the first time with something that could be a mistake, a phantom, a ghost. Then pings again, unmistakable. Location history, message fragments, edges of photos I cannot yet bear to open. All of it a preface, all of it a promise. I close my eyes and breathe in the smell of lilies. Somewhere beyond the flowers, beyond the hum of the refrigerator and the soft, practiced weight of my husband's footsteps moving toward me, a door in my life has already opened. I intend to walk through it with my eyes wide. The next evening, the doorbell rings again. Same hour, same sound, but this time I'm waiting. Noah stands there, pale beneath the porch light, holding a small envelope like it's heavier than it should be. "I know you didn't believe me," he says quietly, "but I couldn't let it sit on my conscience." He glances toward the house, his eyes darting between the front door and the glow spilling from the living room window. "He's home, isn't he?" "Watching TV," I say, keeping my voice even. "Why are you here again?" "Because you deserve to know the truth." He presses the envelope into my hand. "I made a copy of the dashcam footage. I don't want anything from you. I just thought, if it were me, I'd want to see it." My throat tightens. For a moment, I almost hand it back. Then I step outside and close the door behind me. "What exactly did you see?" I whisper. Noah's fingers twitch. "The video doesn't catch everything, but it's enough." He swallows. "Your husband got emotional talking about you, said things like, 'She deserves better, this is killing me.' But then he laughed, said you were so trusting, and then they kissed." The words land differently this time, no longer unbelievable, just unbearable. "How long?" I ask. "The whole ride, 15 minutes maybe. But it wasn't a mistake, it felt practiced." He looks at me for a long moment, and something in his face softens. "I'm sorry." I nod, unable to speak. When he leaves, I don't move until I hear the sound of his car fading down the street. Then I lock the door, slide the envelope into my pocket, and walk upstairs. Patrick glances over from the couch. "Who was that?" "Delivery driver, wrong address," he grins. "Must be nice getting free visits." I force a laugh, my chest tight, my hand clutching the envelope so hard the edge cuts my palm. "I'll be right back." In the bathroom, I lock the door and sit on the cold tile floor. The envelope trembles in my hands before I tear it open. A USB drive drops into my lap like a verdict. I plug it into my laptop, the whir of the fan the only sound between me and whatever truth I'm about to meet. The dashcam video begins with static. Then the view clears. Two blurred figures in the back seat, their faces washed in streetlight. Patrick's voice, unmistakable, warm, familiar, fills the small room. "She made those little sandwiches you like," he says. "She always remembers." Benjamin's laugh follows, low and intimate. "She's sweet, but she doesn't really see us, does she? She sees what she wants to see." A pause, a sigh. "Sometimes I think it'd be easier if she found out," Patrick murmurs. "This sneaking around is exhausting." Benjamin replies, soft, almost tender. "Then we'd lose everything. The house, the holidays, the perfect cover. Don't forget, she makes all of this possible, Patrick." Then there's movement, a shuffle, the kind of sound you don't need to see to understand. I stop the video halfway through, my stomach knots, my breath shakes. The walls seem to lean closer. I close the laptop, sit back against the door, and stare at the ceiling. I don't cry, I don't scream. I just breathe until my pulse slows enough for my thoughts to line up again. They think I'm blind. They think I'm stupid. They think I'll never know. They're wrong. Sleep doesn't come. When dawn finally spills through the blinds, it feels like light doesn't belong here. Every memory that used to comfort me now flickers like old film. Benjamin's gift of an expensive watch last Christmas, because he deserves the best. Their spring camping trip that yielded no photos. Benjamin's constant presence in our home, always offering to help with projects that didn't need his help. Every time they laughed too loud after catching me looking at them. By noon, I already know what I'll do next. Patrick leaves for work after lunch. I watch him from the window as he walks to the car, adjusting his tie, humming the same tune he hums before he lies. When the engine sound fades, I open the drawer where he keeps his spare phone charger and find what I'm looking for, his phone, forgotten on the dresser. I move quickly. The monitoring app I downloaded last night is still on my laptop, waiting. I install it, log in, and within minutes I can see everything. Messages, call logs, location data. A life I've been married to, but never truly seen. Deleted texts reappear in fragments. "Can't wait to touch you again. Nicole's working late tomorrow. Miss waking up next to you." The pattern is clear. Tuesdays and Thursdays, evenings at Benjamin's address. Then photos. Some grainy, others heartbreakingly crisp. Patrick and Benjamin in bed together, asleep and bare-shouldered. Benjamin cooking breakfast in a hotel room I don't recognize. A selfie, their faces pressed close, time-stamped from a weekend I'd spent visiting my mother. But the worst file is a short video, 30 seconds, recorded in our kitchen. I can hear my own voice in the background, humming while I make lunch. Patrick's whisper comes through first. She's in the kitchen, making us sandwiches. She's like a little housewife, isn't she? Benjamin's laugh. She tries so hard to make everyone happy. Patrick. Don't feel bad. She gets what she wants. Perfect husband, perfect life. She just doesn't know she's sharing. The video ends with laughter. My laughter joins theirs a moment later, but it's coming from another room, another world. I press the laptop shut and sit still for a long time. The air feels heavy, syrup thick. Somewhere outside, a neighbor's dog barks. Inside, my heartbeat keeps time with the sound of something breaking quietly, permanently. That night, I say nothing. Patrick comes home cheerful, oblivious, carrying takeout again. Same restaurant. He sets it on the table. You've been quiet lately. Everything okay? Just tired. I smile, a small, precise gesture that feels rehearsed. He reaches across this table, his thumb brushing my wrist. You're the best wife in the world. You know that? I hold his gaze. I try to be. He doesn't hear what I mean. When he goes upstairs, I stay in the kitchen, scrolling through the app again. His messages keep arriving, proof of a rhythm they've perfected. Tomorrow morning, they're planning to run together, then grab breakfast. Benjamin even jokes, "You owe me pancakes for last night." Something in me clicks. It's not rage, not even betrayal anymore. It's strategy. I don't want confrontation. I want proof, leverage, and time. By the next morning, I'm ready to test what I've learned. Going for a run with Benjamin, Patrick says cheerfully, lacing his shoes. Want to join? I shake my head. Errands. He grins, kisses me, leaves. The sound of the door closing is an answered prayer. I open my laptop, refresh the app, and watch the dot. That is my husband move across the city toward Benjamin's apartment. When it stops, it doesn't move again for 2 hours. At 11:53, a new photo uploads to Benjamin's social feed. Just a breakfast table. 2 plates, 2 coffees, a reflection caught faintly in the window. Patrick's silhouette. The day feels like slow poison, but the clarity is addictive. For the first time, I am not guessing. I am knowing. By evening, I've made a decision. Confrontation isn't enough. I need something that ends this cleanly, permanently. I start to plan Benjamin's upcoming birthday party, an event I had already volunteered to host weeks ago. Back then, it was about generosity. Now it's about evidence. I write out a list of guests, of decorations, of favorite foods. I text Benjamin about beer brands and playlists, and casually confirm that Patrick will help me set up. Each message is bait. Each emoji is a snare. When the night comes, I will be ready. For now, I wait. I play the role of the oblivious wife, folding laundry, smiling when spoken to, living inside a lie that I am preparing to burn to the ground. And every night before I sleep, I whisper to the dark, "You think I'm not watching, but I am." The truth has a heartbeat now, and I can feel it breathing beside me. The morning of Benjamin's birthday arrives with the kind of sunshine that lies for a living. It pours through the kitchen window, warm and golden, pretending the world is still good. I sip my coffee, watching the condensation bead on the glass, and wonder how many lies it takes to build a marriage that looks this peaceful. Patrick hums at the counter, scrolling through his phone. His reflection in the window feels like a stranger's silhouette. I study the small, ordinary things, the way his fingers tap rhythmically, how he bites the inside of his cheek when reading. Once, those details made him real to me. Now, they're just evidence. When he leaves for work, I open my laptop. The app updates itself automatically, feeding me timestamps like a heartbeat. 10:42 a.m. Patrick at the downtown bank. 10:58. Benjamin's address. I scroll further through older data and find a pattern of withdrawals that don't match our spending. My stomach tightens. Later that week, the clue appears in a single line of text, so small it could be missed. Transfer complete. $200 to joint account ending in 4729. We have no joint account ending in 4729. I dig through our records, opening spreadsheets, online portals, anything that might connect. Nothing. It doesn't exist in our shared profile. It's hidden, buried like a secret only 2 people were supposed to know. Patrick's footsteps upstairs send me slamming the laptop shut. He appears in the doorway, smiling. You okay? Fine, just checking our savings balance. Still holding steady? Steady enough. He nods, satisfied. You're good at that stuff. I'd be lost without you. When he leaves, I whisper to the empty kitchen. Yes, you would. The next day, I call the bank, my voice light, polite. Hi, I'm verifying our accounts. Could you confirm the last 4 digits of any joint accounts under my husband's name? Of course, Mrs. Whitlow, the woman says, tapping her keyboard. I see your checking and savings, and 1 additional joint account ending in 4729. My pulse stutters. Could you tell me the other holder's name? I'm sorry, that information requires both account holders or legal authorization. Right, of course. I manage a laugh that sounds almost real. He just forgot to mention it. Thank you so much. When I hang up, the quiet roars. By noon, I'm driving to the bank. The lobby smells of ink and coffee and false security. I wait in line, smiling at the teller, handing over a forged withdrawal slip with Patrick's signature, something I've seen 1,000 times on bills, contracts, Christmas cards. The teller barely glances at it before pulling up the records. How much would you like to withdraw? Actually, I say, leaning in, I just need to see the account activity before I make a decision. She hesitates, then turns the monitor toward me. My name isn't on the account, but my money is. Regular deposits from our household checking, amounts matching my salary, not his. Withdrawals labeled Highland Hotel, Cedar Ridge Rentals, Laurel and Finch Bistro, and a monthly payment that makes my chest go tight. $975. Cedar Ridge Cabin 7. My eyes blur, then focus again. The pattern stretches back a year, over $20,000 spent. On them. I drive home on autopilot, my vision tunneling between raindrops. The windshield wipers move back and forth, as if counting lies. I pull into the driveway and sit there, the car idling, staring at the house I paid for, the windows I cleaned, the porch I painted, the home they used as a hiding place. Inside, the silence feels different. It's not peace, it's aftermath waiting to happen. That night, Patrick calls. Hey, honey, I'm running late. Emergency meeting about the Johnson account. I glance at the tracker on my laptop. Patrick. Location. Benjamin's apartment. Of course, I say. I'll keep dinner warm. You're perfect, he replies, relief in his voice. Love you, I whisper. Love you too. The call ends. The deception doesn't. I search Cedar Ridge Rentals online. A soft-focus website loads with a tagline that feels like mockery, where love hides away. There it is. Cabin 7. Romantic getaway. Fireplace. Private deck overlooking the lake. I call the number listed. Hi, I say, my voice bright. I'm calling about the cabin my fiancé rented, Benjamin Fletcher. We're thinking of booking our honeymoon at the same place. Oh, Mr. Fletcher, the woman gushes. He and his partner are regulars. They've been coming every month for over a year. Lovely couple. I freeze. Every month? First weekend. They love the fireplace cabin. Would you like me to hold your preferred dates? No, I say softly. You've already given me exactly what I needed. I hang up and sit in the dark, gripping the phone until my hand cramps. They didn't just cheat. They invested in it, planned it, paid for it with my money. I think about confronting Patrick, but what would that change? His lies are a currency. He spends them freely. I need something stronger than confrontation. I need leverage. That night, while he sleeps, I open his drawer again and find the documents I knew would be there. Receipts, bank slips, a credit card statement with charges that read like a diary of betrayal. I photograph every page, one by one. The plan forms itself in the quiet. Not anger, not revenge. Justice dressed in elegance. 2 weeks from now, I'll host Benjamin's birthday dinner. Patrick has already agreed to help me surprise him. Perfect symmetry. But this time, I'll choose the guest list. Along with Patrick and Benjamin, I invite one more person, Noah, the man who first brought me truth. Patrick raises an eyebrow when I mention it. The Uber driver? He was so kind, I say. Said he doesn't have much family around. I thought it would be nice to include him. That's random. Maybe, I say, smiling. But Benjamin always says I'm too social for my own good. Patrick doesn't correct me. That's how I know I'm right. I spend the next week preparing. I move our savings into my own account, citing better interest rates. He doesn't ask for details. I make multiple copies of every document, stored in cloud drives and sealed envelopes. When I'm not working, I practice calm in the mirror, the soft smile, the unshakable eyes, the way my voice will sound when I say, "Would you like to see the footage?" On the morning of the dinner, Patrick keeps hovering, nervous. You sure you're okay? Perfect, I say, arranging the candles. Tonight's going to be exactly what everyone deserves. He changes his shirt twice, checks his phone constantly. He's sweating before anyone even arrives. I watch him from across the room, thinking how strange it is that the man who could lie so easily now trembles at the idea of truth. When the clock hits 7, Benjamin arrives first. Flowers for me, whiskey for Patrick. He hugs me warmly, lingers a second too long, then turns to Patrick. Their embrace lasts longer. I count the seconds. 3, 4, 5, 7. Patrick smiles at him like sunlight breaking through clouds. My heart stays cold. 15 minutes later, the doorbell rings again. Noah steps inside, dressed neatly, polite as ever. His eyes flick between us, then land on me. A nod. He's ready. Patrick's face drains of color. "Anne," he says tightly, "what's going on?" "Nothing unusual," I reply, taking Noah's jacket. "You remember Noah, don't you? The driver from the barbecue." "Of course," Patrick says, but his voice cracks halfway through the sentence. Benjamin blinks, confused. "You invited him?" I smile, warm, unshakable. "Any friend of mine is a friend of yours." We sit down to dinner. The air is a taut wire stretched between civility and collapse. Patrick barely eats. Benjamin tries small talk, fails. Noah remains quiet until I give the smallest nod. Then he begins. "Well," he says, setting down his fork, "you'd be surprised what passengers talk about in the back seat of a car." Patrick's fork clatters. Benjamin stills. "People forget there's a driver listening," Noah continues gently. "Sometimes they discuss things they shouldn't. Private things, affairs, lies. Maybe we should talk about something else," Patrick cuts in, voice thin. "No," I say. "This is fascinating. Go on, Noah." He meets my eyes once, steady, then tells the story of the night everything broke. 2 men in his car, laughing about the woman they deceived, planning a future she'd never be part of. Patrick's breathing quickens. Benjamin's hands curl into fists. I stand slowly, walk to the television, and pick up the remote. "Would you like to see the footage?" I ask. "Or should we start with the bank statements?" The room goes silent, except for the sound of truth arriving at last. For a heartbeat, no one moves. The only sound is the faint hum of the ceiling fan turning lazy circles above our heads. Then Benjamin laughs. Too quickly, too loudly. "This must be some kind of joke." Noah's gaze doesn't waver. I wish it were. Patrick pushes back his chair, scraping the hardwood. "Anne, what are you doing?" "Serving dessert," I say. Something sweet to go with the truth. I press the remote. The television flares to life. The dash cam footage fills the screen. The interior of a car at night. City lights streaking across glass. 2 figures sit in the back seat, hands brushing, heads close. Benjamin's voice first, smooth as honey over a blade. "She's sweet, but she doesn't really see us, does she?" Then Patrick's laugh, light, intimate, unforgivable. "Sometimes I think it'd be easier if she found out. This sneaking around is exhausting." Benjamin, "Then we'd lose everything. The house, the perfect cover. Don't forget, she makes all this possible, Patrick." Their laughter collides, low and easy, like it's shared muscle memory. I stop the video. "How long?" I ask. "Have you two been laughing at me?" Patrick's lips tremble. "Anne, please." "Since college?" I step closer. "Since our wedding day?" Benjamin stands. "We never meant for this to..." "To what?" I snap. "Happen? Continue? Consume my entire life while you smiled across my dinner table?" Patrick reaches toward me, his voice cracking. "You have to believe me. I love you." "Do you?" I tilt my head. "Because this," I gesture to the screen, "doesn't look like love. It looks like theft." Benjamin whispers, "We didn't steal anything." I laugh softly. "You stole my trust, my money, my years. That's quite a haul." Noah shifts in his seat, uneasy. "Maybe I should go." "No," I say, my tone sharp enough to still the air. "Stay. You're the only honest man in the room." Patrick's voice rises, desperate. "You can't do this here. Not like this." "Oh, but I can," I reply, "and I will." I pick up a folder from the table. Thick, organized, damning. "This," I say, dropping it in front of him, "is the joint bank account you opened with Benjamin. The one funded with my salary. The one you used for hotel rooms, romantic cabins, and bistro dinners I never attended." He stares at the papers, eyes wide. "How?" "Because I pay attention now." Benjamin mutters, "Anne, listen, you don't understand." I step closer. "No, I finally do. You used me. You both did. My home, my kindness, my reputation, they were props in your performance. The lights flicker once, as if the house itself is holding its breath. Patrick tries again. Please, we didn't mean to hurt you. You never meant to get caught, I correct. There's a difference. I walk behind my chair, steadying my hands on the backrest. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to sign divorce papers that give me everything. The house, the accounts, the investments. In exchange, I won't press charges for financial fraud. I won't show this footage to your employer, your family, or your church. Patrick's face drains of color. And that's... Mercy, I interrupt. Don't mistake it for forgiveness. Benjamin steps forward. You can't just... I turn to him, calm as glass. And you, Benjamin Fletcher, are going to leave this town. Today. You're going to resign from your job, terminate your lease, and disappear. If you ever contact Patrick again or step foot near my home, I will release everything. The video, the bank records, every sordid detail. He flinches. You wouldn't. Try me. Noah clears his throat quietly, the sound of decency in a room drowning in guilt. Maybe you should listen to her. She's being more generous than most would be. Benjamin's bravado collapses. He looks at Patrick. Say something. Patrick opens his mouth, but words fail him. The silence that follows is worse than shouting. It's the sound of two men realizing the story they built together has just ended. I let the quiet stretch until it hurts. I trusted you, I say finally, voice low. Both of you. You called me blind, but I was looking right at you every day, and I chose not to see it. That's what love does when it forgets itself. It turns into denial. Patrick covers his face. I'm sorry, he whispers. I didn't know how to stop. I lean forward. You stopped by telling the truth. He looks up, tears rimmed with shame. I did love you. The words should mean something, but they don't. You loved what I gave you, the stability, the facade, the life that let you live yours without consequence. Noah rises slowly. I'll step outside, he says softly. You two, settle whatever's left. As he leaves, the room feels smaller, stripped of its audience. Patrick sits down, hands trembling. What do you want me to do? I already told you, I answer. Sign everything over. I've prepared the documents. They're in the study. After that, pack your things. You have until morning. He nods numbly, staring at the floor. Benjamin, he whispers, but Benjamin's already backing toward the door. I can't, Benjamin's voice breaks. I can't do this. Then leave, I say. He hesitates, looks at Patrick one last time, and slips out without another word. The door closes behind him with a soft click that sounds like the end of something sacred. Patrick stays seated. His shoulders shake once, then still. I walk to the sideboard, pour a glass of water, and set it in front of him. Drink, I say, not unkindly. You'll need it. You're about to lose everything but your name. He takes it, hands shaking. Anne, I never meant... I hold up a hand. Don't say it again. Every time you tell me what you didn't mean, you remind me what you did. The house hums quietly around us. The clock ticks. The television screen goes dark. I step toward the front door, open it wide. The night air moves through the room like absolution. You have until sunrise, I say. After that, I call my lawyer. Patrick rises, hollow-eyed. You'd really do it? I already have, I whisper. I filed this afternoon. The paperwork's waiting for your signature. He nods once, defeated. I'll sign. Good, then we're done. He hesitates in the doorway, his voice raw. For what it's worth, I hope you find someone who actually deserves you. I already did, I say, thinking not of love but of truth, myself. He leaves. The sound of his car starting echoes down the street, then fades into the night. I close the door, lock it, and press my forehead against the wood. The house feels larger now, emptier, but lighter, as if it's exhaling after years of holding secrets it didn't want. When I turn, Noah is standing in the hallway, coat in hand. Everything okay? I nod, as okay as the truth can be. He studies my face for a long moment, then says softly, You did the right thing. Maybe, I murmur, but it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like aftermath. He nods, understanding. Aftermath's just the part where you start over. I manage a smile. You're good at that, aren't you? Not always, he says, and leaves me with the quiet. When the door closes behind him, I stand alone in the living room, surrounded by the remains of a dinner party no one will ever forget, the half-eaten dessert, the untouched wine, the faint scent of betrayal baked into the air. I gather the plates, wash them one by one, methodical, precise. Every sound of water against porcelain feels like something cleansing. By the time I finish, the sky outside is pale gray. Patrick's things are gone by noon. The lawyer calls 2 days later. He signed everything, she says, didn't contest a thing. Good, I reply, and hang up. Then I walk to the window, pull open the curtains, and let sunlight flood the room. The house is mine now, so is the silence. And for the first time in years, both feel like freedom. 2 months pass before the house stops feeling haunted. I change the locks, the curtains, the scent of the air. I repaint the walls myself, a pale sage that makes the room seem calmer, even when I'm not. For weeks, every drawer I open carries the ghost of Patrick, his receipts, his cologne, the neat handwriting on envelopes addressed to clients. But ghosts don't survive routine. They suffocate under the weight of new habits. Eventually, even memory gives up. The divorce finalizes faster than anyone expected. Patrick doesn't contest a single demand. His lawyer sends the signed papers, his signature shaky but obedient. In one envelope, he includes a short note. I'm sorry for everything. I hope someday you remember the good parts. I tear it in half and let it fall into the trash. I'm not angry, just finished. Benjamin disappears completely. His construction company posts a polite notice, relocating for personal reasons. His apartment empties overnight, mail forwarded to nowhere. It's almost impressive how men who built their lives on lies can vanish so cleanly when the light finally hits them. My friends ask what happened, voices syruped with curiosity disguised as concern. I tell them the same line every time. Patrick and I realized we wanted different things. When someone presses, I add quietly, he wasn't who I thought he was. That answer satisfies everyone except me, but it's enough. At night, I cook for one. I eat at the small table near the window, listening to the hum of the city instead of the silence of a man lying beside me. Loneliness isn't the enemy people think it is. It's clarity with good lighting. One Thursday evening, there's another knock at the door. I almost don't answer, but the voice on the other side is familiar. Anne, it's Noah. When I open the door, he's holding a small jewelry box. I think this belongs to you. He opens it to reveal a single gold earring, one I'd lost during the chaos of moving day. I smile for the first time in what feels like months. You kept it? You left it in my car when I helped you move. He shrugs. I figured it would find its way back eventually. Thank you, I say, taking it from him. You didn't have to. I wanted to. He hesitates, studying me with that calm steadiness I remember from the night he first told me the truth. How are you settling in? Better than I expected, I admit. The apartment's smaller, but it's mine. Every inch of it feels earned. That's how you know it's real. His eyes flicker toward the hallway behind me. I didn't mean to intrude. You're not intruding. I pause. Do you want some coffee? I finally learned how to use my new machine without setting off the smoke alarm. He laughs, a warm, unguarded sound that fills the doorway. In that case, I'd love a cup. We sit in my kitchen, 2 mugs steaming between us. The conversation is light at first. His daughter in college, his weekend project restoring old cars, the absurdity of grocery prices. Normal things, gentle things. Then he asks quietly, why did you believe me that first night? Most people would have slammed the door and never looked back. I think about it. Because you had nothing to gain by lying, and because there was something in your voice, like you were angry for me. No one had been angry on my behalf in a long time. He nods slowly. I was. Still am, a little. We fall silent for a moment. Then he asks, are you okay? Really? It's such a simple question, but it lands like mercy. I take a sip of coffee, letting the warmth anchor me. I'm getting there. I used to think healing meant feeling nothing. Now I know it just means feeling everything and surviving it. That's a good definition, he says softly. Surviving it. When he leaves that night, he smiles in the doorway. You look lighter. Maybe I am, I say. Maybe it's just good lighting. Weeks pass. We see each other again, casually at first. Coffee, lunch, a movie that neither of us really watch because the conversation matters more. There's no pretending, no small lies to make things smoother. When he talks about his ex-wife, he calls her a lesson, not a villain. When I talk about Patrick, I call him a mirror I finally stopped staring into. One Saturday, Noah invites me to a small cafe near the river. The place smells like fresh bread and roasted beans. We sit at a corner table, sunlight slanting through the window. For the first time in years, I feel safe enough to laugh without checking if someone's watching. Tell me, he says between sips of coffee. What was the worst day of your marriage? I don't have to think long. The day I realized I'd been making excuses for him for so long that I forgot what normal felt like. He nods. Mine was the day my wife told me she didn't love me anymore. But she said it kindly, like she was giving me a gift. We both laugh softly at the tragedy of civility. Outside, the river moves steady and endless. Inside, time loosens its grip. When he walks me to my car, he pauses. Can I see you again? You already are, I say, then quieter. Yes. The kiss that follows is slow, deliberate. No firestorm, no desperation. Just honesty. It feels like the first true thing to touch me in years. 6 months later, Noah keeps a toothbrush at my apartment. I keep a spare sweater at his place. We argue about dishes, about whose turn it is to buy groceries, about the little things couples argue about when life is finally simple enough to care about them. Patrick tries to contact me once through his lawyer, a letter asking for closure. I return it unopened. Benjamin sends a Facebook request from another city. I block it before his name fully loads. I don't need closure, I need peace, and peace doesn't ask for an audience. I've learned that trust isn't blindness, it's observation without fear. When Noah says he's working late, I believe him not because I'm naive, but because his stories match his patterns. His honesty is consistent, boring in the best possible way. One morning, he leaves a note on my counter. Be back by noon. Don't forget to eat breakfast. I laugh out loud. After everything I've been through, that small kindness feels revolutionary. One Sunday, we're sitting at the table reading the paper. Sunlight spills across the floor. He looks up, his voice easy. I'd like to spend every morning like this with you. I blink. Are you asking what I think you're asking? He smiles. I am. There's no ring yet, no grand gesture, no music swelling in the background. Just 2 cups of coffee and a promise wrapped in simplicity. Yes, I say, surprising myself with how certain it feels. Because I want that too. Not because I need someone, but because I finally know what I deserve. He exhales, relieved. You deserve the world. I'll settle for honesty and quiet mornings. We laugh, we kiss. It feels like a beginning that doesn't erase the past. It redeems it. The wedding is small, just family, close friends, and his daughter standing proudly as my maid of honor. My sister officiates, her voice trembling only once when she says, "Marriage is not about fixing what's broken in you. It's about choosing who stands beside you while you grow." We promise to tell the truth, to pay attention, to choose each other every day. No audience, no illusions, no hidden lives. Afterward, we dance barefoot in the backyard, the grass cool beneath our feet. The lights glow above us like soft constellations. Noah's laughter mingles with mine, and for the first time in a long time, I don't wonder if happiness is temporary. I just let it be. When everyone's gone and the night quiets down, I stand alone under the stars. The air tastes like rain and renewal. Somewhere out there, Patrick and Benjamin are probably living another story built on silence. I hope they find their truth, even if it comes too late. As for me, I've already found mine. Because peace isn't what happens when the noise stops. It's what remains when you finally listen.